This is how you change the outer stanchions and window regulator on a Gen 2 Viper. First step is you gotta take the door panel apart. The cover is usually sitting over here and it slides that way. Usually there's a screw here and a screw here. There's a screw here. 3 over here, and then you gotta get the speaker out. And then the only thing that's holding the door panel in at that point is a push pin that's in this general area, and I'll show you once the door panel is out. And then there's usually a connector for the tweeter. All right, we got my handy dandy screwdriver here to take this cover off. Ordinarily, this is not on the Vipers. Usually this is covered. I'll work on these screws here. We're gonna take this plate, put it in here safely, carefully take the cover off. Your speaker situation may look a little different, but this guy has aftermarket Sony ones. All right, so now we're gonna take the speaker. The connector for it is back here. This is the connector. You pull this tab up and pull the connector outwards. So the screws are here and usually one here. All right, so now that we have the door panel loose, you can see how it's wanting to hold here. Then we're gonna carefully go in here, pry that out. All right, so now we're gonna take the door panel, lift it up out of the way. The tweeter speaker is here. It's the same style connector as the other speaker. Take tab, lift up, slide out. In order to get the outer stanchion, you gotta get the inner stanchion. This seal is torn here. If yours isn't torn, you have to get these push pins off in order to get this out. There's 3 screw locations, right here, and there's one inside here. All right, let's take them out. We're gonna lower the window down, move this inner window seal slightly out of the way. That just pops up. When removing this, you gotta be a little careful. It can get tricky because it sits in this crease here. So in order to get these pins out, to prevent breaking them, I find it easier to get something kind of flat but sturdy and push the pin from the inside out. This is how the emergency door release is held in. In order to remove it, release it from how it's held in here by lifting this upward. And then there's a slot in here that the cable slides outwards on. For the sake of the video, if your seal is still intact, you use something like a handle, the screwdriver or something, and just work this inner pin out. So this is a tool that we're gonna try to use to get the outer door handle nut off. The way the door frame is built is kind of really tricky to get to this nut. So I'm gonna try to use this socket and hopefully it's gonna be a little bit easier to get this off. Here is the door release handle. We have to remove this from the outer stanchion in order to get the outer stanchion removed. To remove the release button, you have to take the connector out. There's a pin that holds the connector. The pin pushes out this way, just that. And then the connector just comes downward. I'm removing the nut on the outer door handle release button. This is how I remove the nut without the socket. I know it's not ideal, that's why I'm trying that socket. And there it is. The final step to get the stanchion out is to take this screw out and the rubber grommet out there, and it just slides up and out. And the stanchion goes up and out. Now we're gonna go over how to remove the window and the window regulator. We gotta somewhat remove this vapor barrier. Usually it's taped in or glued in. You just gotta work the glue or tape out of the way so you can fold it up. Now we gotta roll the window up to reveal the clip that holds the window on to the window track. You gotta take this sliding block that also adjusts the height of the window out, and then we pull the pin. Once the pin is removed, separate the window from the track, split them apart, window comes up and out. Now you got your T30 Torx, we're gonna take this out. Keep them together. There it is. So now I'm gonna pull the window retaining pin, grab a pick, pull it out. You essentially just separate the window from the track. There it is. And then the window comes up and out. All right, so first step into removing the window motor, the connector is through the speaker hole. You reach your hand in through here, and it's very similar to the speaker connector, just like that. Now it's the 3 nuts here, 2 bolts here, and the 1 nut on the base of the track on the bottom side of the door. Now the moment of truth. You get them out of the spots, and it all comes out just like so. Now it's off to get rebuilt. If you need to know how to reinstall it, just watch this video in reverse.